Hi friends, Tracy Brown. I hope you're doing really well today, whether morning or evening. And I know it's been a week or two since I did my little unpacking series. I started it with intuitive eating principle number 1. And if you hadn't seen the last video, I will try to remember to relink that down below. But I know it's been actually 2 weeks since I did the first one. I got distracted. Anyway, so I wanted to unpack all the principles just a little bit deeper, just so you know, like, especially if you're not super experienced, and when people read these, there's still a level of disorganization in most people in their mind or in their body of like, well, how do I do that? And they're going to ask you a lot of questions. And so, for example, one of the questions, there's one thing to be like, well, I want to honor my hunger, but I'm not for sure if this is anxiety or if I'm really hungry. I don't know. And of course, if you're looking at their food journals or reviewing their food, you'll know that like you'll have a sense of like what their hunger and fullness looks like in general if they are kind of holding back. And this is one of the most, if I had to list like 3 things I see people really, really struggle with, is most people unconsciously undereat because they're still so mired in diet mentality. They're still so trapped still in like, gotta lose weight to be happy, to be healthy, to be successful, to do something right. And so if you already have that, like, imagine you have like this overlay of like saran wrap on your head of like weight loss is best for all kinds of reasons, you know, it's gonna be hard to like let all like true honor your hunger like land and always notice it and not have that overlay on it until you start to lift that film of like losing weight is the best thing since sliced bread. That's what makes honoring people, that's why people struggle with honoring their hunger. So just be on the lookout for that in your sessions. So I would say again, so that's one, like if people are struggling with honoring their hunger, it's because they still have an overlay of diet mentality, and just eating is always as easy as like sometimes they don't eat until there's a really loud signal to get too hungry, or it's kind of the opposite, which is anytime they have a little bit of emptiness, they're eating because sometimes if food is being used to ground or emotionally in some way, or that they've gotten in this habitual thing of like just kind of eating and grazing for whatever reason. There's all kinds of reasons people do that. It could be emotional, habitual, and or a neurobinder. A neurobinder is something like, you know, basically it's just kind of gotten stuck in the system that when you feel certain things, you do certain things, or you feel certain things. So a lot of my clients, especially I've noticed this over the last probably a little less than 10 years, I'd say 8-9 years, I've been able to identify like, oh, so depending on what's happening in their system around the neurobiology, I can see like how like there's something to be said for sometimes people are eating, and this is something you may never hear anywhere. I used to just call it eating with the nervous system. The people I do, I kind of partner with around somatic work and training and stuff like that, they've labeled it resonant eating. So that's something I'm going to be teaching them more about later this year. And, you know, obviously making sure I can borrow their language about that. But it's really important. And again, and that's why it makes honoring hunger so tricky. Is you're really, again, keep digging to like, okay, is this like actual true hunger and fullness? What are you hungering for? Really keep unpacking, because that's the reason a lot of times people struggle with these principles, is there's just so much more to go. It's not their fault. It's not, you can only put so much in a book, but as practitioners, you need to know that like these principles are just guidelines, but every single one of them needs a lot more digging. Is there anything else I would say about honor your hunger? Yesterday in my group, I'm just going to share this and sign off. Yesterday in my group, I have I call it a group called Attuned Eating for Attuned Living. It's a paid membership. People pay a small amount each month, and we do monthly calls. There's tons of things. It's almost like if any of you the professionals here who are in my decoding skills training, it's like, you know, I've got a big vault essentially of videos and audios and stuff for them to work on that I would do in session with them if they were live with me. So anyway, a person was asking about like, you know, sometimes I'm not sure if I'm hungry, I'm just eating, am I anxious eating, what am I trying to do? And the thing I asked her to experiment with this week is, hey, when we are indoctrinated in diet culture. We tend to think if I'm not hungry, if I'm not sure I'm hungry, I should just wait. I tend to teach people, if you're not sure you're hungry, you need to have something to get some more information. Because if you tend not to eat, then that's like recapitulating this whole like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm hungry, so I don't want to mess up, so let's might as well eat, and that might as well, maybe that'll make me lose weight. It's diet cultured, just the behavior. So I want them to switch it the other direction, which is like, if you're not sure, have a little something, have a piece of toast, have an apple, have something, have a piece of cheese, and just check in. That's not enough to like take somebody from really maybe quite full to like miserable. That's not going to take somebody off the edge of feeling sick. We need to get more feedback. So anyway, I hope that helps you. They might not think that means I'm honoring my hunger. It's like, well, if you're not sure where you're at, and just by checking in and noticing if you don't feel anything, if it feels blank, oftentimes, again, when I'm doing a lot of interoceptive work with people, it's like, there's so much dysregulation that things don't feel much. And so we've got to do some things sometimes from the outside in or inside out to get some more lay of the topography, let's say, internally. And sometimes eating something can help do that. So I hope this is really helpful with honoring your hunger, unpacking that more deeply with your clients. I think that's it for now. We will get to the next principle probably next week. So thanks so much for watching and take care.